Hello everyone, and welcome to this edition of HCS Matters. I'm John Wright, Public Relations Director for Hardin County Schools. We're standing here today in the Hardin County Schools Early College and Career Center, and on this day we've taped this, we have celebrated today 5 honorees, and those 5 are what we call this year's distinguished alumni. You'll see various professions within this group. You'll see that they have gone on to do very great things.
Mr. Russell Gross is a 1978 graduate of North Hardin High School. His musical talents have given him multiple opportunities for success. He found success many times, including serving as the chief musician for the United States Navy Band. He earned a bachelor's degree in music education and music performance at Murray State University in 1982 and 83. He returned to North Hardin High School as an assistant director of bands from 1983 to 1986. He left North Hardin to join the United States Navy. After naval training in Great Lakes, Illinois, he reported to the Naval School of Music in Norfolk. He was assigned to the Navy Band in Orlando, Florida for 2 years. After winning a special audition for the Navy's premier band, he began his service in the United States Navy Band in Washington, D.C. from 1989 until his retirement in 2010. He was instrumental clarinetist and saxophone and piano, as well as enlisted conductor for the Navy's concert band. He earned the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, 3 Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medals, and the Meritorious Unit Commendations, 5 Good Conduct Medals, and the National Defense Service Medal. In 1986, he received the Sailor of the Year Award and was promoted to Chief Musician. He is a professional clarinetist as well as a conductor. He has been a principal clarinetist as well as Tyson's McLean Orchestra for 29 seasons, and he plays in the Arlington Philharmonic. He is the founder, music director, and conductor of WindWorks of Washington, a professional super band composed of members of the Washington, D.C. military bands and area freelance musicians and special invited guests.
And since he couldn't be here today, he has sent a few words that he would like me to share with you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply touched and honored to be selected as a recipient of this prestigious award. Unfortunately, a nasty fall on Sunday morning left me unable to travel for a few weeks. I'm grateful to have Ms. Kay Watts accept this award on my behalf and represent me today. My thanks to Mr. Wright, the selection committee, and everyone involved in this event. I am most proud to be a product of the outstanding school system here in Hardin County. Briefly, I would like to recognize the many great teachers that helped shape my formative years, helping me set goals by providing the necessary tools, offering encouragement, and being exemplary role models. My music teachers were truly wonderful and offered a solid foundation to my musical studies. My band director at North Hardin Junior High, Mrs. Lucille Brown, was pretty tough, set high standards, and expected a great deal from me. I'm grateful to her for her early influence. My first band director at North Hardin High School was Mr. Edgar Abbott. He was a master teacher and emphasized having strong basic musical skills as the basis of my performance. And I thank him for the opportunities he gave me and the encouragement he so freely provided. My band director from my sophomore through senior years was Michael Sims. Not only was he a master teacher, but an amazing musician and a role model for me. During his first year at North Hardin High School, Mr. Sims encouraged the band students to audition for the Kentucky High School All-State Band. And as I understand it, 1975 was the first year North Hardin High School students had ever auditioned for All-State. And I was fortunate enough to be selected for the All-State Band that year. I was the first representative from North Hardin High School to ever make the Kentucky All-State Band. And it was an experience and a memory that has stayed with me throughout my life. My academic teachers were also superior and encouraged me along with my music directors. I'm grateful for the excellent education that I received at North Hardin and know that because of it, I was well prepared for college and for life. My advice to the current students in the outstanding Hardin County schools would be simple. Work hard, study hard, listen to your teachers, and keep your minds and hearts open to the opportunities around you. Never give up on your dreams. Find ways to live the life you envision. Always lift up and encourage others. Always be quick to forgive. Be honest and kind. I have found inspiration in the Maya Angelou advice. Whatever you want to do, if you want to be great at it, you have to love it and be able to make sacrifices for it. My sincere thanks for this award. I'm grateful and humbled. All the best to all of you.
Mr. Brent Halsclaw, a 1976 graduate of East Hardin High School. He recently retired as superintendent of Bardstown Independent School and began a new career as Chief Financial and Facilities Officer at Elizabethtown Community and Technical College. He earned his bachelor's degree in business education from Berea College and his master's degree in rank 1 from Western Kentucky University. After college, he returned to Hardin County and taught business at North Hardin High School. He also coached football and tennis there. He went to Bardstown High School in 1990 to serve as the school's guidance counselor. In 1996, Halsclaw left Bardstown to serve as principal at LaRue County Middle School and returned to principal at my old Kentucky home middle school, which is in Nelson County, in 1997. In the year 2000, Halsclaw was chosen to be the first principal of John Hardin High School. He was faced with the unique task of hiring all staff members and determining the school's direction of success. After creating a strong tradition of excellence at John Hardin, he was selected to be the Bardstown Independent Superintendent in 2005. He negotiated the purchase of 71 acres for the district's future growth, began a STEAM, which is Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Math Academy on the district's campus, created an on-campus health clinic for students, expanded the district's child care program, and led the district through advanced ed accreditation, and led the district to a distinguished rating from the Kentucky Department of Education. Halsclaw is a board member of the Guthrie Opportunity Center, an organization working to improve the quality of life for adults with disabilities. He is active in his church and serves with Habitat for Humanity. He is past president of the Central Kentucky Educational Cooperative, a member of the Kentucky School Board Association, Kentucky Association of School Administrators, and Kentucky Association of School Superintendents.
Hardin County Schools have been very influential in my life. For any success that I've enjoyed in my career, I really owe a lot to the school district, both as a student and as an educator. I think back to the time that I was in high school and I was a student. I think about all the fond memories that I had with all of those teachers, the kind and caring teachers at East Hardin High School. Now, I don't know exactly how to say this. Let me say, I was a good student, but I wasn't a great student. To be totally honest, I don't really remember a lot of subject matter that many years ago that was taught to me. But I do remember how much those teachers at East Hardin cared for me, how much they motivated me to be a better student, and how they believed in me. There's a saying that we have in education: students don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. As a young man searching for my path in life, I remember well how much the teachers at East Hardin High School cared for me. As I look back over my 34 years of career in education, another way to say that is 3.4 decades. That's not near as long as 34 years. It becomes clear to me, though, that one of the most important tools in the education field has not changed after all these years. All the way back to the time that I was in school, it still exists. The most important factor to ensure a student's success in education, it's still about building relationships with students, believing in students, and helping our students discover the gift within. As you know, it was mentioned earlier, I began my teaching career at North Hardin High School. I remember interviewing for my first education job as a new teacher. I sit in Mr. Ray Story's office. Of course, I was nervous as could be. And for those of us that remember Mr. Story, and you understand his personality, it was easy to understand why it was such a difficult interview. But of course, he was a man that once you did get to know him, you found out he had a heart that was huge, and he was all about educating children and loving children and making sure they were taken care of. And fortunately, he became my first mentor in the field of education, and I truly respect it and appreciate it. He taught me how to always put students first in every decision that we make. 10 years after leaving North Hardin, I was presented the wonderful opportunity to return to Hardin County and to open a new school, John Hardin High School. It's clearly one of the highlights in my career. It's an experience that I'll never forget, and an experience that prepared me well to become superintendent of Bardstown City Schools. Thinking back on this experience, on the experience of John Hardin, I remember the interview process. Now, if you've sat through an interview with a couple people or multiple people, it's pretty tough. I walked into this interview and there were 12 people sitting around that table, and they all had questions because they were very passionate people. Somehow made it through that interview. Somehow I was selected, made the final three. I was able to go and sit in front of Mrs. Lois Gray, superintendent at Hardin County Schools. Mrs. Gray was a very special person, and in my interview, she asked several non-traditional questions that were very provoking, questions that were somewhat emotional. I'm a person that prepares hard for interviews. I didn't see these questions coming. I had no idea, and I wasn't prepared for the answers. But I did the best I could to get through it. And somehow, in the end, she was willing to take a chance on me. She saw things that in me that I hadn't seen in myself. She put me in a place that I didn't really feel like I was ready for. But she believed in me. This might be hard, so hang in there. She mentored me. She nurtured me. She once again helped me find that gift in life. Hardin County Schools, you played a significant role in my career, in my life, and I'm so grateful. And I'm so appreciative to receive this award of Hardin County Distinguished Alumni. Thank you so much.
Dr. Brooke Hicks Hedspeth. She is an alum of Central Hardin High School. She is also summa cum laude, a graduate from the University of Kentucky College of Pharmacy, and has placed a strong focus on diabetes care and prevention during her career. She recently secured a $7.5 million grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to expand the National Diabetes Prevention Program to underserved areas across the United States. She's had numerous peer-reviewed publications and national speaking engagements in the area of diabetes and pharmacy practice opportunities. She is a pharmacy practice coordinator and clinical diabetes care pharmacist for Kroger Pharmacy and serves as the program coordinator for the Kroger's Diabetes Self-Management, Education, and Diabetes Prevention. It is recognized as one of the best programs in the country by the American Diabetes Association and the CDC. Dr. Hudspeth is also an adjunct assistant professor at UK College of Pharmacy and a professor for the UK College of Pharmacy Kroger Community Pharmacy Residency Program. She has been recognized with national and state awards for her contributions to her profession and innovation in providing patient care. Some of these include the American Pharmacist Association's One-to-One Patient Counseling Award, Kentucky's Young Pharmacist of the Year, and the National Alliance of State Pharmacy Associations Excellence in Innovation Award. Dr. Hudspeth has had numerous peer-reviewed publications and national speaking engagements in the areas of diabetes and pharmacy practice opportunities. She is secretary for the Kentucky Pharmacist Association, a member of the Board of Directors for Kentucky Diabetes Network, and a member of the Board of Directors for the American Diabetes Association, and is part of the National Diabetes Prevention Pharmacy Stakeholder Group. She frequently volunteers with the state's mobile pharmacy events where medication is provided to help combat Kentucky's opioid epidemic. Additionally, she volunteers at the diabetes fundraising events and recently earned the American Diabetes Association prestigious Volunteer of the Year.
The support and encouragement that I've received from coaches, from teachers, from family, again, too many to name, and I'm sure I would also probably leave someone out, is something that I will forever be grateful for. The values, work ethic, the compassion for others, and faith in God that was really instilled in me throughout these years are attributes that I strive to incorporate in everything that I do. I feel that when you're doing something that you're passionate about and that you love, it doesn't really seem like you're doing anything all that special or all that great. And so this really came full circle about a year and a half ago. So as was mentioned, a big part of what I do in my career focuses on diabetes management. And I could stand up here and talk about diabetes all day long and why it's so near and dear to me. I'm sure every single person in this room in some way, shape, or form has been impacted by diabetes or knows someone that has been. But more recently, I've kind of shifted some of that focus into prediabetes. And prediabetes is a condition, for those of you all who aren't familiar with it, that impacts 86 million Americans, and patients that have prediabetes are at a very high risk for going on to develop diabetes. And the good news, though, is that there is a lot of evidence. There's a very strong program that shows patients can actually prevent diabetes. And so that's what my most recent work has been in developing and implementing this program that has been proven to help a great number of patients prevent this chronic disease of diabetes. And so I had the opportunity, as was mentioned, through some connections with the CDC to implement this program across the country in underserved areas. And of all of the underserved areas, all of the counties across the country, wouldn't you know that Hardin County, Kentucky was identified as one of those underserved areas, and it was an area where we chose to bring this program back and implement it right here in Hardin County. And so while I have been in Lexington, Kentucky since going to college at the University of Kentucky, right? And stayed up there, this just presented a wonderful opportunity to be able to hopefully impact the community here in Hardin County and maybe give just a little bit back to so much that Hardin County has given to me. Like was mentioned, and what I said earlier, really what, has laid the foundation so much of the success really comes from those experiences, everything that Hardin County schools have had to offer, as well as that support that we've had. So as you had mentioned earlier too, you couldn't do a lot of these things without the support of family, so especially my husband, O'Shea, who even with his successful career takes the time to care for our family so that I'm able to do a lot of the things that I do. Just again want to thank everybody in this room for all of your support and encouragement and the ability to be here today and do what I do. Thank you.
Kyle Johnston, who graduated from North Hardin High School in 2000. He is the head athletic trainer for National Football League Miami Dolphins. He graduated from the University of Kentucky in 2004 with his undergraduate degree and University of Florida in 2007 with his master's degree. Prior to his senior year at UK, he was selected by the Miami Dolphins to serve as a summer intern. A year later, he landed a year-long internship with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He later accepted a graduate assistant position at the University of Florida football program. During his first season with the Gators, the assistant trainer position opened, and he was quickly promoted while still working on postgraduate degree. After 5 years at Florida, he came to home to serve as the director of football sports medicine for the University of Louisville football team. His appointment to that position at age 27 made him the youngest head athletic trainer at a Power 5 institution at that time. During his time in college football, he worked with 2 national championship teams, 2 bowl championships, and 2 Heisman Trophy winners. The Miami Dolphins asked Kyle Johnston to serve as the team's head athletic trainer in January of this year. At age 35, he became one of the youngest head athletic trainers for the NFL. Throughout his career, he has stayed connected to Hardin County Schools and the North Hardin High School family. He has counseled and mentored countless students across the district considering entrance into the profession of athletic training. He has given a multitude of athletic facility tours to HCS students, to visits to U of L. He has come back to HCS to talk to us about careers multiple times with our students. His guidance was instrumental in the proactive and aggressive approach for Hardin County Schools to implement the Impact Concussion Management Program and return to play policy for student athletes.
It's a huge honor for me. One of the coolest honors I think I've ever received because of how special the school system is to my family and I. I'd like to thank a lot of individuals, but inevitably you probably forget somebody, and it wouldn't be fair to them. So, just in general, you never forget the teachers that stayed late and came early to help you on the assignment that you had some trouble with, or the counselors in the counseling office, and that staff that were a shoulder to lean on or an ear to listen to with things that maybe you didn't want to bring back home to your parents and talk to. The blueprint for leadership that the principals and administrators laid out in front of us. The coaches that push you beyond your comfort zone, that challenge you to set your goals high, challenge you to make yourself better so you can in turn make your team better and work in that team concept. The lunch ladies and the janitors that always had a smile on their face, maybe let you borrow a quarter because you were short for lunch. Those things were such an influence in my life then and continue to be an influence on my life now. But I'd be remiss to not mention the 2 greatest educators anybody could ever ask for, my mom and dad, Kenneth and Annette Johnston, as well as my second mother and father, my aunt and uncle, Patty and Chris Mayu. No coincidence that they're all Hardin County School products as well. They've paid it forward to my sister and I. They taught us the morals and values, principles that we needed to know and learn to be successful in life, like work ethic, determination, perseverance, loyalty, how to treat others. And my sister and I, when we went to Vine Grove Elementary, James T. Alton, and North Hardin High School, we were reinforced these same values. So not only we heard it at home, but we heard it at school as well. And it gave us a chance. It laid a foundation for us to lean back on, to build off of, to give us a chance in life to be successful. My wife and I are raising 3 beautiful daughters. Yeah, I do have all girls, so I have my hands full, and I know that. So my wife and I often, when we're looking at schools, as we've had to move around a few times, we're looking for our Hardin County schools. We're looking for that school system that's going to reinforce the same values and principles that we're teaching our children at home. We know that if we find our school system that was half as good to my sister and I, that our children will have a chance as well, and that's all we can ask for. Again, I thank everybody for everything they've always done for us. I thank Hardin County Schools. They truly are what they say they stand for, and that's helping children succeed. So again, thanks for everything, and go Trojans.
John Kimberlane is a member of the last East Hardin High School graduating class of 1990. He is a senior application specialist at Dow Chemical. He earned his Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Kentucky in 1996. After spending 2 years with Gates Rubber Corporation in product and process development, he joined Dow Corning, which is now Dow Chemical. He is considered an expert in the design and performance of structural silicon glazing in the Americas, which is focus of his research. His research includes the use of finite elements analysis for advanced structural glazing silicon sealant design, sealant behavior and protective glazing applications for hurricane impact and bomb blast, and development of material models to incorporate into finite element analysis software for increased accuracy and predictive modeling. He was published nearly 20 peer reviews, journal articles on his research used by leading building designers across the globe. He has made more than 50 research presentations in 4 countries and earned the Application and Engineering Award of Excellence at Dow in 2010 and 2017. He is also a founding board member of the North American Contractor Certification and Architectural Glass and Metal Certification Council. He also served as chair in Building Enclosure Contractors Division and Board of Directors for the Glass Association of North America.
I am reading his remarks. It is a great honor to be recognized as distinguished alumnus of the Hardin County School District. If you have an engineer in your life, you probably know an introvert who can be lost in their head for hours and days trying to understand how the world works and what can be done to make it better. At least in terms of chemistry and physics. That's me, he says. Any success that I may have had, in part, is due to the education I received from this community and its educators. Beyond just the academics, the educational experience in Hardin County schools has provided extracurricular activities and enhanced learning options to help students succeed if they decide to engage it to the best of their ability. I want to highlight a few of my experiences in the school district, but realize there are too many to list them all, and that there is a chance that we would miss somebody. I have fond memories of being a student at Rhineyville Elementary with teachers like Ms. Lucas, Ms. Galvin, and Mr. Blakely, who were very kind and able educators. I remember that Ms. Yates recognized me in a skill set in mathematics and pushed to get me into more advanced classes to continue to develop. At Hardin Central Middle School, memories of Ms. Hayes and Ms. Ransdell, who helped teach an understanding of the English language, writing, and critical thinking. Fundamental skills for writing research papers, in which you heard he's written quite a few. Mr. Bennett and Mr. Allen, capable and fun algebra teachers who furthered my understanding of mathematics, a critical part of my development as an engineer. Finally, at East Hardin High School, Ms. Abraham provided a lot of tough love to many of us and the importance of understanding chemistry. Ms. Wells provided a fun and engaging physics course, and maybe perhaps because she had a homemade AC unit and not all the rooms were air conditioned back then. And Mr. Young, who taught business classes as well. He mentored me and many others through participation in Future Business Leaders of America. Beyond understanding business law, which is an important concept even in the field of chemistry and physics, participation in FBLA helps you understand how to present yourself and respect others. FBLA provided a wealth of diverse experiences when traveling and competing in different competitions or vying for elected offices in the organization. As a product of and someone who entrusts their children to, I want to thank all of the current former educators and administrators in the Hardin County School District that commit themselves to creating an environment that goes beyond learning and to one that enables the development of a full person if he or she chooses to do so. The fact that the district has a program to recognize successful alumni speaks volumes of what you have accomplished over your long history. You are greatly appreciated, and thank you again for the recognition.
Well, as you can tell, and as you've seen and heard from these alums and the representatives today, that there are special things and special opportunities that our alums can do here in the Hardin County Schools. So if you want more information about how your children can be afforded these opportunities, not only those opportunities that those alums were afforded, but even greater ones that are now available within the Hardin County Schools here in 2018, please give us a call at 769-8800 or check out our webpage, which is hardin.kyschools.us.